G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. Today, wherever you are, Nathan is going to give you another one of his commentary videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share it around. And today, Nathan wants to talk to you about relationships.
Yeah, well, today I'm going to talk about relationships. Obviously, relationships are one of the most, important parts of life. What is life if you don't have good relationships with people? Imagine living your whole life in isolation. That would be terrible. I've had lots of good friendships in my life. I've had dear friends who I think the world of and who I've shared deep and meaningful conversations with. And conversation is important to the human experience. And a lot of the most important aspect of relationships in my mind is the conversations you have, sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom, sharing life experience, communicating values, and just sharing this wonderful experience of life with someone else. So over my life, I've had a lot of very important friends. Some of my friends have gone the other ways with. That was disappointing, and that left me feeling a bit rejected and disappointed. But that's okay. Maybe those relationships will rekindle one day. And I've still got many good friends, particularly my friends in Maitland, who I talk to online. Often I don't see them much because I live in Newcastle now, but I have a good connection of friends in Maitland who I share very personal bonds with through our years associating with each other and spending time together. And it's those memories. Those memories are life at the end of the day. When you're on your deathbed and you're dying, you'll be thinking back over your memories. So those memories are your experience, and those memories form your sense of self. And in many ways, we conclude who we are through how we have related to others, and our experience with others defines who we are. So obviously it's very important to have people in your life, but it's important to remember some people don't have anyone in their life, and some people live very isolated lives. So always remember, if you have good relationships, that some people live very isolated lives and don't have relationships and don't have anyone. I've heard many stories about people who've died alone with nobody to care for them, and people who die in hospital and nobody comes and visits them because they didn't have anyone, or all their relatives died, or they just didn't have the social skills to ever have good friends, or they just never managed, their life just didn't take them in a direction where they had a good network of friends. So I try to think about the people as well who don't have anyone and who live lives of isolation. Now, with regards to romantic relationships, I'm one of those people who lives a life of isolation. I've had 2 romantic relationships in my life. I'm 37 now. I had a relationship with a girl in high school, and I had a relationship with a girl when I was about 25, which lasted about a year and a half. And that was the only adult relationship I've had. And that was a very important, special time in my life, because it was a time in my life where somebody saw that I was valuable. And that's an important thing of romantic relationships and friendships, is that someone is showing you that you are valuable. And if you're without friendships or romantic relationships, you can be left feeling as if you have no value and as if you are worthless and as if nobody wants to know you, and that can be a very depressing feeling. For most of my adult life, I haven't had romantic relationships, which has been a bit depressive. I'm not bitter or cynical about it. I try not to be. Sometimes I get a bit bitter and cynical about it. It's been disappointing to get to 37 and to have only had one romantic relationship. I'm still a very confident man because I absolutely think I'm a champion, and I think anyone who doesn't recognise that I'm a champion is only missing out on how much of a champion I am, because they're a fool, and that's my view. I'm better than everyone else. So if you don't want to acknowledge that I'm a legend and be with me, that's your problem. So as you can see, I'm still very confident, but unfortunately in my adult life, only one woman has wanted to show me that I have value. So that's been very disappointing. So with regards to romantic relationships, I've found myself at 37 being one of the lonely, isolated people who doesn't have romantic relationships and who nobody seems to value in that way. And I just want to say that has been depressing and difficult over the years. When I was young, I didn't have very good social skills. I don't do small talk. I can't do small talk at all. And if you go through my videos and watch them, you'll see I do big talk. And I think the fact that I do big talk and I don't do small talk has hindered me for relationships, because a lot of people like that small talk and that day-to-day discussion, but I don't do that. I only do big complex talk, and that's pretty much exclusively the only talk that I do. So unfortunately, I'm 37, I'll be 40 in 3 years, and I have been one of the lonely people who hasn't had romantic relationships in my life, and that has been hard, and I've had to learn to be an isolated, self-sustaining unit, and to be satisfied with myself and to love myself, and to be happy with my own company. So that's disappointing. So don't forget, I don't want to labour on saying, oh, woe is me, I haven't had adult relationships, but at 37 it still hasn't happened, and it's depressing, and that seems to be the way it's going to stay for a while. So don't forget, there are people who don't have those things in their life, and I can tell you personally it has been difficult to see everyone I grew up with having all these romantic relationships, and having love in their life, and me missing out on that. So I have to ask questions about my behaviour and whether the way that I conduct myself is conducive to making someone want to be with me. I suppose it comes down to the fact that I've been pretty unstable most of my life. I've been in and out of psych wards for most of my life. And I'm pretty erratic, I'm an anarchist, and I'm pretty chaotic. So I suppose I don't bring stability and security to a relationship, and that might be one of the reasons I'm undesirable. But I have been left feeling rather undesirable. And if you think I'm not undesirable and you think I'm desirable, please tell me. Please tell me. I'd like to feel desirable. It's sad to feel undesirable all the time, but it's 37 a.m. now, and one adult relationship, so I'm left feeling pretty undesirable, which is depressing. So just a reminder to people, like I said, I've had plenty of good friendships in my life, but I don't spend Valentine's Day with anyone. So do remember there are isolated people in the world, and check your privilege, because some people live their whole lives alone and depressed and miserable, and that's the reality of life, is that some people live miserable, depressing, isolated lives. And with regards to romantic relationships, that has been the reality of my life for the majority of my adult life. So it's been unfortunate, but I'm not angry or bitter about it, because I see that life is a thing of great value, and I find satisfaction in many other adventures in this wonderful universe that we live in. But it'd be nice to have some adult relationships and some company in my life for once. Hopefully it happens again before I die. And I do value that relationships are important, and I want to share my world with someone else's world, and that's what it's about. It's about sharing each other's worlds with each other and sharing each other's perspective. And like I said, a lot of it, the value of relationships is those conversations that you have and those communications that you have, where you share wisdom and knowledge and life experience, and you learn from each other, and you grow and you become better people through focusing on each other's strengths and also supporting each other through each other's weaknesses. And we, two people in a relationship, help each other become better people by working together as a team, and it's always nice to be a part of a team. So that's the value of relationships in my mind. So yeah, drop a comment in the comment section about why you value relationships and let me know.